Hey everybody, welcome to the GMG review. Today we're taking a look at the Beta-Decimus Killzone from Games Workshop, which is up for pre-order today and is in a complete sort of like in-a-box Killzone for your games kill team. So let's dive in, have a closer look, and I'll tell you all about how I painted it and got it ready in one morning for the table. So here is the box all painted up. We've got 8 gantries, all of which are sort of removable stanchions that you can take them on and off of, 9 objective markers, and 1 ferrotonic furnace. Now the ferrotonic furnace, of course, has been available before. I believe it's been in a couple Killzone boxes already. These objective markers, I'd never actually seen or built before, but are handy for 40K games or your kill team games. They're in standard 40 mil size, so they're slightly larger than kill team size objectives, but they're interactable terrain features for playing your missions out of the kill team salvation rulebook. And then the ferrotonic furnace, like I said, is its own sort of thing. These are all designed to be lined up with each other and would be handy not just for games of kill team, but also Necromunda. Now they all have removable gantries, so they were easy enough to paint separately using what I used to call the toucan rattle can method. You've probably seen it on this channel before. Basically, you take 2 different cans of spray paint in a darker and lighter color. So for instance, I used this warm caramel and I think it's satin granite. Yeah, satin granite for the bases, like the actual like footprints or the I don't know, what would you call them, the feet of the gantries. And then I used Rust-Oleum satin colonial red over top of satin espresso from Rust-Oleum for the actual like walkways on the gantries themselves. Now, this is a really simple method. Do a solid coat with the darker tone, the brown, and then do a sort of like 45-degree angle for the top down, or just kind of like randomly spray with the lighter tone, but just make sure that you're further away than you normally would be to get like good coverage, and that way you keep the dark browns in the recesses there, and you're pretty much finished. Then all I did to pick out the edges was a little dry brush with some Wraithbone and a terrain brush, and this was 90% of the heavy lifting. To zhuzh it up a little bit, I stippled on some of the Ryza Rust technical paint from GW, and that's pretty much all I did. That finished off the Killzone. For the objective markers, instead of using the gray, I used a silver here, which was a metallic aluminum, Rust-Oleum metallic aluminum, aluminium for some of you, and another 45-degree over top. And then I just went with various washes and picked out some of the details on the objectives. You also get this 2-sided mat, which has the Beta-Decimus Killzone area. And it is including like a big water terrain feature, because the idea is you're on like a giant oil rig here. And the oil rig has like dangerous terrain, fumes or whatever coming out of the water because it's all polluted, blocks line of sight in your kill zones and stuff too. So even though I felt like it was going to be relatively open with the sort of obvious like line of sight, they've adapted in the Salvation rulebook. They've basically created rules so that that's not the case. You can see here the scale. I'm going to throw down some of these new 28 mil based scouts on there so you can get an idea of how big it is. And that's it. It was, as far as Killzones go, this was really easy to paint. Most of the legs of the Killzone are in a single piece, which was really nice. Just clip them out and clean them. And then you're really just putting the hatches on top of the walkways. These little guys get glued on separately to add a little bit of extra detail. And then we were good to go. So yeah, if you're gonna be playing 40K with these, it gives you some cool walkway terrain. It doesn't block line of sight very well without some agreement. Like you need to say it's blocking line of sight underneath in order to like have some real sort of line of sight blockers, but it's handy to have objective markers, and especially considering they're 40 mil, they can be used for 40K games as well. All in all, it's a good amount of terrain. I'm more interested in it as obviously like Necromunda terrain, I think, I am as 40K terrain, but it was super easy to build, super quick to paint, and looks super sharp on the table. And I was happy I matched the Killzone colors relatively quickly too. So there it is, the Beta-Decimus Killzone pack. Now, if you want to play through the rules in the Salvation book, the Kill Team Salvation book, they all refer to this box set. So to use the terrain in here, you're going to have all the rules for like how the gantries work, how the Killzone floor works, and everything else, which make it far more habitable for shooting teams or non-shooting teams, melee teams, because the line of sight isn't quite as open. So it is a quick how I painted and how it looks for the Killzone in the new Beta-Decima pack. Now, if you're wondering about the additional terrain features that come in the Kill Team Salvation box set, I painted them up using roughly the same methods, just adding additional details like the belts on all little machinery pieces, and a little bit of like glowing blue energy around the coils and the generators. And that was basically it. But those pieces do not come in the Beta-Decima box. They come along with the scouts themselves in the Kill Team Salvation box that you can check out my review for today as well. But I just wanted to mention them too, because if you're wondering how they were painted, well, this is how. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.